Hey, what's going on, guys? So this is going to be my review of the first in the SD cross silhouette line, the RX-78-2. So this, once again, is not the set that comes with the RX-78-2 and with the cross silhouette frame, although that is available. I bought them separately, but I will be reviewing them both in this video for you guys. So I'll show you guys just what the regular SD cross silhouette Gundam is going to look like in its normal SD form, and then we'll put in the cross silhouette frame into it. We'll switch out the frame anyway, I should say, and then we'll take a look at how it's going to look with the kind of extended, slightly more articulated frame, and that should be pretty cool. Personally, just straight out of the box, I'm not really too into how this looks, to be honest. I think it's going to look much better, I hope, once the extra frame is put in there, because as it is just now, I mean, it just looks like a SD RX-78-2. I mean, I don't really know how else I can really compare it. I will give you guys a comparison with the SDX standard RX-78-2. I don't have a regular SD, I don't know what it would be. I guess it's just a SD BP Senshi or something like that. RX-78-2, I'm sure obviously one exists. I don't have it, but I'll compare it with the X standard kit for you guys so you can see them side by side. But otherwise, I will say the kit just overall does have nice detail and nice part separation, especially in the head, as we saw noted in the box art when we looked at that in the unboxing. The amount of stickers is really not too bad. It's pretty minimal considering that it's an SD kit. It's not too much more than you would expect for an HG, so that's good. Although the RX-78-2 isn't really the most super colorful Gundam, they've done a really good job of part separating everything for the most part. And weapons is pretty basic, pretty much exactly what you would expect for the RX-78-2, so why don't we have a look at those? Okay, so these beam saber handles here on the backpack don't actually come out. Those are just fixed inside the backpack. Actually, that's one piece that kind of goes in like a U shape around through there. But we do have a separate beam saber, which is all in white. It's all one piece. I really kind of wish, it's like a new line. It's supposed to be kind of a nicer SD line. They want to say, okay, we knew the SD external line was kind of a flop. Let's go back and show how we can make a new, nicer SD line with a lot of nice color separation, and then give you this beam saber. I mean, I really wish that it would have just been a clear pink effect part. I think that really wouldn't have been too much to ask for this, to throw just one clear pink part there on the runner. But unfortunately, this is what you get, so you will have to paint that. Obviously, this just fits into the hand like normal. And then we have the Gundam's beam rifle. Of course, we've got two stickers there, which make up the yellow for around there in the camera lens. And then the secondary handle will move side to side. The camera lens will move side to side as well. And this one as well just pops into the hand, very simple. And then we've got the Gundam's Shield, the ever so iconic shield. So this part will slide into the hand, and this part connects onto the side of the arm. Very solid connection there. And then for the yellow cross there on the front, that's made up of two stickers, which fit on there pretty well, as you can see. They look pretty nice, except for maybe down here at the bottom where you can see kind of the edge of the sticker. But overall, this all works very nicely. You can, of course, connect this onto the backpack as well. If you just want to pop this onto the back, you can do that also, carrying the shield on the back, and it looks pretty nice. Because under there we do have a little bit of detail, not too much, but it's not just completely plain. And while we're at it, let's just take a look at the Gundam while we've got it here. So let's take a look at the stickers. On the back of the head, there's a red sticker there for the back camera. On the front is just a sticker there for the eyes, and then a sticker here for this crotch part there as well. And that's pretty much it for this form here. So as for the articulation, the head will go up and down, not really too much up, really to there, if you can tell that it's looking up at all. But then down to there, and then of course just turn side to side like that. No problem with that. In the stomach section, we've got a little bit of bend. It's because it's on a ball joint, so you can kind of move that a tiny bit around, and of course rotate that, but not really going to be too much. But again, nice color separation here. The red for the head camera, the jewel, the chin, it's all red pieces. You got gray in here for inside the vents and the Vulcans there on the head. The chest, this is just all nicely color separated, red, yellow, blue. And then here on the top of the shoulders, though, you'll see that white part there on the top is the inner frame. So that's just the regular SD frame. Let me get this to help point to that. But that shoulder will just move up only about to there, and you can bring the arm up to about like that. It's about it. The shoulder joint part of the frame doesn't actually swing out like you might think that it would, but the ball joint can kind of bring that out, just because the stem leading to the ball joint is kind of long there, so you can kind of pull that out a little bit to bring the arm a little bit farther forward, I think, like so, because otherwise you're not really going to get much movement out of the arm at all. You can rotate it there at the top because it's just connected via a ball joint up in the shoulder, but you can't bend the elbow at all, so that's just fixed like that. And the hand is also just on a ball joint. Down here, the legs also just attached via a ball joint there, so you're going to get a little bit of movement out of that, but not really a whole lot. The front ankle armor is connected via a ball joint at the top of the foot, kind of, so you can kind of move that around a little bit and reposition that if you need. The foot then also on a ball joint, so you can move that up and down actually pretty well, down to about there. And again, it's all nicely color separated. The red part for the bottom of the foot and the white part for the top of the foot are separate parts. And then up underneath the foot, you have some detail there in the center, but you also have empty space there surrounding that. So it's kind of just so-so around the back. Just some nice detail there on the backpack. And overall, it does have some seam lines you'll notice here on the back of the leg, but that is actually, there's a panel line there as well to kind of cover that up, at least for this top part here. The bottom part, however, though, there is no panel line in that, so you could just go ahead and like scribe that all the way down, or just get rid of the panel line in the lower part of that, or just kind of leave it alone, considering it's on the back of the Gundam and no one's going to really notice that much anyway. And then up underneath, you can plug this onto an action base with that little peg there. So as it is, not really all that posable. And I'm also noticing that the peg connection up underneath the skirt section there is quite short, so I'm a little bit worried, even though it's a very small and lightweight kit, of course, it's not heavy at all, just that it might fall off of there if you don't have it balanced on there as nice, as good as possible. If you had this sort of like leaning in some or sort of odd angle, I don't know, it's just not very deep. You might even want to just take your drill and drill that a little bit deeper into there, just so you got a nice solid connection onto there, especially if you're going to be doing any modifying to this, adding a bunch of heavy weapons or something like that onto it, or just having it heavier in some way, I don't know, but that's just something I noticed and I thought I should point out to you guys. But yeah, as it is in this form, it makes for a nice enough, just cheap SD RX-78-2 Gundam kit, and like I said, it does have some pretty nice detail on there. But I think it is going to look much better once we have the cross silhouette frame swapped out, so why don't we just go ahead and do that here in a moment. But first, let's take a look at how it's going to look compared to the SDX standard version. Okay, so here we have the cross silhouette on the left and the SDX standard on the right. Now, there's, I think, definitely pros and cons to both of them. One thing you'll notice is the SDX standard is definitely a little bit smaller. The weapons are also smaller. You can see there's a big difference in the size of the guns and also the shield size there, so quite a bit difference. The heads are generally about the same size, considering they're both the SD, but you can tell there's definitely a big difference in just the other proportions of the body, especially the chest. You can see is very differently shaped. Honestly, though, I do kind of like both of them. The SDX standard kit, of course, going to have a lot more stickers on there, much less part separation, but I think the posability of the SDX standard is actually probably a little bit better. The articulation and posability, just if we're just talking about this as is without the cross silhouette frame in this guy. So I think there's trade-offs. If you could somehow like take the best of both worlds and swap them together, I think that would be awesome. But considering the SDX standard is 600 yen and this guy is 800 yen, for the extra 200 yen more, I think you are definitely probably getting a better kit with the cross silhouette. But to me, honestly, as bad as the SDX standard line was, the RX-78-2 is probably one of my favorites from the line, so I definitely don't think it's too bad of a kit if you're in for all the masking and painting. So before I actually install the cross silhouette frame into the Gundam, I'll just give you a look at how it's going to look just kind of as is with the gym head attached onto there, as it does come with that gym head as a sort of extra kind of accessory. I'm not really sure what you can really do with that. If you wanted to maybe do some sort of custom where you're putting the gym head onto like an HG gym or something like that, you could do your own sort of like SD HG sort of kit bash kit with that. That'd be useful, I guess. Then you don't have to buy a whole SD gym. But otherwise, I think that's probably just going to be, I don't know what we can really do with that anyway. But here is the frame. As you can tell already, it's much taller than the Gundam, so it's going to add some nice height to it. Now we have to basically disassemble everything of the Gundam, take it all apart, and then reassemble it around the new frame. Won't really be too complicated, I think, but let's get to it.
Hey you! I was a wimp before Anchor Arms!
Alright, and whew, yeah, that frame definitely helps a lot in terms of the overall proportions, I think, as well as the articulation. Definitely, it gives you a much more nicer bend in the knees because you actually have thighs now. It gives you a bend in the elbows, so you can actually move the arms a little bit more as well. You can actually bend the head a little bit more also, and so overall, just much better. I would definitely recommend. Definitely make sure you use this with the frame, unless you really like the much smaller SD proportions of it just without the frame. But I think if you're actually into like posing and doing anything sort of more fun and interesting with the kits, or especially if you just like the little bit different proportions of these, that sort of quasi HG SD sort of mashup sort of look to it. It's not completely there, but it's definitely closer to that than the normal SD kit. So I think this is pretty cool. It's definitely a much better look for it. Also, you'll notice the eyes are different now. You can switch that around. You've got like, same with a lot of SD kits where the eyes have like different options. You can put like eyes. It's got like you can turn the eyes in the head so that you can have two different options. So like one will be facing front and one will be facing back, of course, inside the head. So same thing here with this one. You can swap that around. In this case, those aren't any stickers. Those are actual yellow parts. It's set inside the gray part for that, so you don't have any stickers there for the use of these eyes, which is much, much better, I think, than the cutesy SD eyes. Again, I'm just not really into SD stuff for me personally. Much prefer this stuff that's a little bit closer to the regular Gundam. So this is definitely pretty cool, though. I still don't think that beam saber is very attractive, unfortunately, but really cool. Also, just one quick thing I forgot to mention when talking about the shield earlier. When I was talking about connecting the shield onto the backpack, you may have been wondering, what about the handle? You just have to like toss that to the side or what? Actually, you can connect the handle here onto the bottom of the shield for storage there while you have the shield stored on the backpack, so you don't have any loose parts that's floating around or anything. So that's pretty nice. Another thing too regarding the cross silhouette frame, remember this is the white version of the cross silhouette frame. If you were to use the gray version, that might look better for like in the actual joint sections, but again, remember there's quite a bit of that frame actually showing, especially like the whole, well, small as it may be, thigh section that we have there, as well as the upper arm and everything. That would all be gray on that, which might look a little bit strange because that's those small, relatively significant portions of the Gundam that aren't really supposed to be gray, but are white just because of the fact that we're using the white cross silhouette frame. So just keep in mind, if you're buying the frame separately from the Gundam, make sure you get a color. Whereas the same thing can be said for like the Zaku, the upcoming kit of the Zaku. I don't think you'd want to use the white frame for the Zaku as well. So I guess it's just something to keep in mind because portions of the frame will show when you're using that. So more than just the joints anyway, I should say. So that's just something to keep in mind. Otherwise though, I'd say guys, this is definitely a cool set. Again, if you're getting the two of these together, the frame as well as the Gundam, I think is 1,400 yen. That's a fair amount considering there's quite a lot of other HG kits that you could get for the 1,400 yen range or less. But if you want just a nice, cool, slightly extended proportioned SD Gundam, I think these are going to be pretty nice. So again, I won't be reviewing the Crossbone Gundam. That is the second one in the SD cross silhouette frame, but I do have the Nightingale. I'll be reviewing that for you guys very shortly. I do already have it built. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen, maybe I already posted a couple photos of it there, but I'll be reviewing that one for you guys shortly as well. Let me know what you guys think of the line. What do you want to be released in the future? We already know the next handful of kits that are coming out so far. The Zaku, the Ifrit, the Zeta Gundam, the Freedom, and maybe one or two more. So there's quite a few that we already know are coming out. So it'd be interesting to see how well the line lasts. The SDX standard line obviously only lasted so long, so I don't know how well this one's going to go. So although it seems like at this point I could say probably this is going to be a lot more popular among people just because of the better quality. So let me know what you guys think down below. As always, a huge thank you to SI Gundam Store for supplying me with the kits for the review here. So do check out the link to their site down below, guys, and use that coupon code ZakuAurelius10. You can get all your stuff there, 10% off. So thank you to them for that. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any other questions or comments, something that I maybe forgot to mention, be sure to let me know down in the comment section down below. And that's it for the review, guys. Pretty cool kit. Check it out if you're into this kind of stuff. That's all for me for now. Bye-bye. Hey! Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you want to check the kit out for yourself, you can head over to USA Gundam Store. Use that coupon code ZakuAurelius10. Save yourself 10%. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye-bye.